Well, our top focus at this hour, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning to Iran. Trump says American forces will carry out further strikes on Iran tonight. This comes after the two nations exchanged heavy fire over the past 2 days. Trump has told Fox News that a much bigger and a more powerful strike will be conducted tonight. Additionally, Trump said that if needed, U.S. troops can be used to take over the whole place. Trump also told Fox News that he will not hit the civilian infrastructure. In Trump's latest Truth Social post, he said that the United States will be hitting Iran very hard tonight. Trump says, and I quote, "At some point in not too distant future, we will be taking Kharg Island and other oil infrastructure points and assume total control of their oil and gas markets." In the attacks, which took place in the intervening night of 10th and 11th June, explosions were reported at multiple locations in southern Iran. U.S. forces claimed to have hit Iran's communication systems, surveillance capabilities, and air defenses. The attack came after Trump warned that Tehran would pay the price for stalled negotiations. In response to the attack, Iran says it has closed the Strait of Hormuz until further notice. Now, Iranian media reports strikes across southern areas near the Strait of Hormuz. They said explosions were heard in Bandar Abbas, Qeshm, and Minab, with additional reported impacts in Kargan and Sirik. These are the latest images released by the IRGC showing attacks targeting U.S. bases in West Asia after the second wave of American strikes on Iran. Air defense systems were activated across Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan in response to incoming strikes. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have described the strikes as a punitive operation. Jordan says it intercepted around 20 Iranian missiles, while Kuwait's military says its air defenses engaged what it called hostile aerial targets. Now, Trump has urged Iran to reach a deal to end the war, suggesting earlier this week that an agreement could come within days. But Iran appears defiant. Despite the heavy bombardment, it is signaling that control over the Strait of Hormuz remains a key strategic leverage point. Iran's foreign ministry has strongly condemned the latest attacks. Tehran says the fragile ceasefire is now practically meaningless. Even as the situation escalates, diplomatic channels have not completely shut down. A delegation of Qatari mediators have reportedly left Tehran after holding talks that continued into the early hours of the morning. China, which remains the largest buyer of Iranian oil, has also called for restraint. Beijing has urged all parties to immediately halt military operations and return to negotiations under international mediation efforts. Russia has likewise joined in pressing for de-escalation, warning that continued confrontation risks pushing the region into a broader and more dangerous conflict. For more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us on the broadcast from New York. Susan, it looks like the situation will be escalating anytime soon. What more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, Trump is now openly discussing the control of Kharg Island, and that's the facility that handles roughly 90% of Iran's oil exports. And it really signals a shift from targeting just military assets to potentially targeting the economic lifeline of the Islamic Republic. So the news is just not about more strikes, but about President Trump's willingness to publicly discuss seizing or controlling Iran's primary oil export hub. He mentioned during a Fox interview earlier that he's very keen on carrying out these operations where the outcome would be something similar to Venezuela. He did warn that he doesn't think Americans may have the appetite for something like that, but nonetheless, he said that that would be his ideal outcome.
Thank you, Susan. Now let us cut across to what President Donald Trump had to say about this situation.
And the one thing you brought up yesterday is it's going to be bridge and power plants next. Is that next?
Yeah, but I'd rather not do it, because once you do that, the people suffer. Like I heard you mentioning water. Water is really a devastating loss for them.